Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some information coming out here for you and I have an update regarding Israel's ongoing offensive in Rafah, the southernmost city in Gaza. So the information we have coming out today is that it looks like the IDF is going to continue to press on here in Rafah despite this whole ICJ order. So the ICJ order, it's the International Court of Justice. They issued in a court ruling just the other day telling Israel to immediately halt their offensive in Rafah. Okay, that they immediately withdraw from Rafah and the Gaza Strip, halt their offensive, and don't continue the fighting. And now we've got Israel coming out basically and saying in a way they're going to ignore this. And the way that they're interpreting this is that they can continue their military operation even though this order is currently legally binding. So I want to read part of this to you. From this order, it says the state of Israel shall immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in the Rafah governorate which may inflict on the Palestinian group in Gaza conditions of life that could bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. Now, if you hear that or read it, it would basically tell you that they need to halt their military offensive and that they cannot bring or inflict any conditions of life that could bring about their physical destruction in whole or in part. So that'd be basically genocide, okay? Completely destroying the population of the Palestinians in whole or in part. So Israel's saying that the wording does not rule out military action. So they're interpreting it in a way that they can continue their operation, and it looks like they're gonna just go forth with this and in a way ignore this court order. So I've got some information to go over here with you. We have an article here on the Times of Israel. It says Israeli officials interpret a ICJ ruling on Rafah as allowing some military action in the city. So that's the way they're seeing it. They're seeing it as like, well, it doesn't say that we can't, completely operate. It's saying that we can have some military action in the city. So we're going to do at least some. But in their words, some will probably be full-blown military offensive is kind of the way they'll see it. So in my opinion, I feel like what they're doing here is just ignoring this, but that's what they're stating. Israel considers that an order by the World Court limiting its military offensive on Rafah and southern Gaza does allow room for some military action there. That's what they're saying. Does allow some room for military action, Israeli official says. In an emergency ruling in South Africa's case accusing Israel of genocide, judges at the International Court of Justice ordered Israel on Friday to immediately halt operations in Rafah that would risk the destruction of the civilian population sheltering there. Israel says that Rafah is Hamas's last major stronghold in Gaza and where 4 of its battalions are located. What they are asking us at the ICJ is not to commit genocide in Rafah. We did not commit genocide and we will not commit genocide. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's national security advisor, Saki Hanegbi, tells Channel 12 News. So that's what I've been hearing even directly from Benjamin Netanyahu, stating that they have not committed any genocide in the Gaza Strip and they will not commit genocide. So that's how the IDF and the Israeli government is taking their stance on this, that as long as they don't commit any genocide, well, they're not breaking international law or anything like that. But, I would say that many people throughout the world agree the opposite, okay, that this is genocide. And obviously it's a very controversial topic to discuss, but that's the way the Israeli government feels about it. Asked whether the Rafah offensive would continue, Hanegbi says, according to international law, we have the right to defend ourselves, and the evidence is that the court is not preventing us from continuing to defend ourselves. So that's what they're going off of the international law, stating that they have the right to defend themselves. So the ICJ, which is based in The Hague, did not immediately comment on Hegbi's remarks. Hamas did not immediately comment. Another Israeli official points to the rephrasing of the ruling by the ICJ or World Court, depicting it as conditional. The order in regard to the Rafah operation is not a general order, the official says on condition of anonymity. Reading out the ruling, the ICJ's president, Nawaf Salam, said the situation in Gaza had deteriorated since the court last ordered Israel to take steps to improve it and conditions had been met for a new emergency order. The state of Israel shall immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in the Rafah governorate, which may inflict on the Palestinian group in Gaza conditions of life that could bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. The wording does not rule out military action, the Israeli official says. We have never and we will not conduct any military action in Rafah or elsewhere which may inflict any conditions of life to bring about the destruction of the civilian population in Gaza, not in whole and not in part, the official says. So I feel like what they're doing there is they're kind of going in between the lines here and saying, well, it doesn't completely say we have to stop. It doesn't completely say that, as long as we don't bring about physical destruction in whole or in part of the Palestinian people, well, then we can operate there. And I guess they're saying that this is not military action, but wouldn't you agree that it is military action? I don't know. It's a little confusing, but again, that's the way the Israeli government feels about this. But at the end of the day, what this tells me is that the Rafah operation is going to continue. And like I've been telling all of you, I've been discussing this whole topic here for a while and telling everyone that this operation down here in the Gaza Strip as a whole is really not going so well. We heard lots of reports just several weeks ago that the IDF is having to move back to the northern side of Gaza, back to Khan Yunis, the central side. And this is due to Hamas taking more people into their ranks and regrowing their organization. Although lots of it's been dismantled, they've regrown recently, and they're starting to spread throughout the Gaza Strip. So now their strategy that the IDF is using is not really working, and they haven't been able to completely wipe out Hamas, not only in Rafah, but also into several other parts of the Gaza Strip. Excuse me. So it's really just not going well for them. And this is going to get very interesting as time moves on here. But it looks like they're going to continue to press on in Rafah despite this ICJ order, and they're just going to completely ignore it for the most part, or at least interpret it in their own way to make it seem as if, well, we can continue operating here, is what it sounds like to me. So, yeah, expect this whole thing to continue over here. And again, I'm still not hearing any updates on how many people are being killed over here. We know that there's got to be more people being injured or killed, and it's really not being reported much anymore. If you notice, the death toll numbers are not really being talked about. And I'm curious to see why that is and why they're not updating it, or, it's just been sitting right around 35,000 for a while. But at the end of the day, 35,000 people, that's a lot of people being killed here in this conflict. So let me know what you think down below regarding this. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.